No, everything's sliding around. Ugh. No! Hi everyone. I have a package today from Amazon Japan that I'm going to be unboxing. And I'm honestly a little nervous about it because like picking up the box, it feels really lopsided, like whatever's inside is just kind of loose. And I don't know if it was shipped like this from Japan where it's just like you can see this and it's like ripped. So hopefully everything inside is okay. But before I get into this package, I'm going to share a bunch of stuff that I've gotten over the past 2 weeks or so. So some pre-orders. I just shared a shopping with me video last time I was in this city when I went to the bookstore, and since then I have gone to the bookstore again and picked up a few things. And then I also have a couple gift items that I received from people, as well as a few print orders. So I will have timestamps below. So if you want to jump ahead to the unboxing, you're welcome to do so. Or if you want to see the manga and art books and prints that I've gotten, then I'll get into them. So first, I just recently got volume 15 of Something's Wrong With Us. This is a josei drama series with mystery elements and romance. It's noticeably thicker than the other volumes. And I actually just read this last night and I loved it. I really like this series, and it's coming to an end soon with volume 16, and then after volume 16 there are 3 additional side stories. So definitely recommend this one if you want a romance full of drama between adults in a setting that is very traditional. Both of them are wagashi makers, so making traditional Japanese sweets. So got this one, and I'm not going to flip through it because it's definitely toward the end of the series, but this volume was a little defective. The first half of the volume, about every 3 or 4 pages, there were a lot of little folds through the images. Let me find one of them. So trying to find one that will not show any spoilers, but on this page, as you can see, just multiple creases and folds, and there are a lot of pages like that in this volume. So I am planning to try to exchange this copy when I'm in the city next, and if they don't have any undamaged copies, then I'll probably just return it and plan to replace it with a copy from another retailer. So we'll see. Another volume that I got last week in the mail, March Comes In Like a Lion. So this is a seinen slice of life series that follows this main guy here, and basically his life as a high schooler who is also a pro shogi player. So this is my first volume from this publisher, Denpa. And as I had heard from all the people who had been waiting for this pre-order as it kept getting delayed and delayed, I still hadn't decided if I was going to pick this one up because I hadn't read any of it, and usually I do kind of preview series before committing to collect them physically. I really wanted to see what the physical volume would be like, if it would be nice, and it's so nice. The front and back cover have French flaps, and there are color illustrations here in the front as well. And then just the feel of the volume, it feels really nice. And the print quality looks good too. So I'll just flip a little bit through it because it's volume 1 to kind of see what the art style is like. But in the end, I did decide to go ahead and order this volume after it had already released, because I asked some friends who had received their copies already if they could just send me some pictures and tell me what they think about the quality of the volume. But the main reason I was interested in this series and ultimately wanted to add it to my collection is because this is actually the second anime series that I ever watched. And I'm not really like a nostalgic person at all, but I do have in my collection the first manga I ever read, Alhara Ride, and then the first anime that I ever watched was Your Lie in April. And I just am not really crazy. I love the anime. I love the music. I love the story. But I'm just not really crazy about the art style for the manga. So I haven't gotten into that manga at all. And I am not sure if I'm going to and if I'll want to even collect it. But this is one that I really liked the anime. It is just a slice of life. So it's not like action-packed with a lot of drama or things going on. It's just the story of this guy's life and his challenges and what he's doing to overcome them. So I have been wanting to rewatch the anime. I really like the soundtrack, but I think I'm going to hold off on rewatching the anime until I can at least maybe get the first 2 volumes, maybe 3, depending on when the volume 3 release will be. And then I can kind of reread the beginning of the story without the story fresh in my mind. And then I'll probably go back and watch the anime before the next set of volumes are released. The next thing that I recently got, I want to send a huge thank you to Prof Otaku. So when I went to the bookstore last, I was planning to pick up the Haikyu art book, and unfortunately the only copies that they had in store were damaged. And when Prof Otaku found out, he did me a huge favor, basically acting as a proxy service for me to find the Haikyu art book at his local Books A Million in perfect condition and get it for me and send it to me securely. So I was really worried about ordering this art book and having it shipped to me because it has a dust jacket that is white, so just in warehouses and just depending on how they're packed in boxes can potentially just get really dirty and easily rip because these art books are not wrapped. So it really is a shame that at my local bookstore, as well as what I've seen other people posting on Instagram, so many of the volumes in store are just, the dust jackets are trashed. So I'm so happy he was able to find a copy for me that's just in perfect condition. And it happened to be during a Books A Million sale, so they were 50% off. So he saved me a lot of money. So thank you so much. And then when I received this package, he included some little extra things for me. So before I pull those on screen, I'll just play a little clip here of my unboxing. I was so relieved that it was packed tightly. As usual, I don't know what the deal is at my local post office, but it's like they like to drop and step on every package. So thank goodness he had secured it because there was one side that had ripped and was trying to come open. But inside, everything was secure. And I did not do a proper unboxing video of this package because it was like a 1 a.m. kind of delirious unboxing. So here's the footage. So then in addition to this beautiful art book, I'm still just like so happy to have this. And I highly recommend it. If you're a fan of Haikyu, this art book is just gorgeous. It's hardcover, but then is thick and just full of just beautiful illustrations. So even if you're anime only and you're not planning on ever reading the manga or planning on collecting the manga, this art book is super nice to have in your collection. But so for the little extras that he sent me these 3 manga volumes. So the 2 lions. So this is a slice of life romance. And then, oh my gosh, I have to say this. Dead Demons, Dead Destruction. So this one, and then Spirit Circle. So I don't know about these two. I even told him, like, these are not the kind of series that I would normally read because I'm pretty picky about the supernatural series that I read. I do have some that I really like, but I'm usually not inclined to read a supernatural series unless it comes highly, highly recommended by friends. So I am going to give this one a try, Spirit Circle. And then this one, I know that this is a really famous and popular mangaka, but I have read one of their series in the past and it wasn't for me. And I know that a lot of their other stuff is like horror genre. And I typically try to stay away from horror because, again, it's just not really for me. But this is one that Dan recommended by this mangaka that he thought that I might like this one. So gonna give it a try as well. And then, in addition to these 3 manga, thank you, he also sent me this issue, this June 2023 issue of LaLa with Gakuen babysitters on the cover. So this is a series that has been on my radar. I have seen little snippets from the anime, but I haven't read it yet. So I guess this is my sign that I need to get into it. And I know that it's one that he recently read and really enjoyed. So I am planning on getting into this one as well. And I'm just over here trying really hard not to be a magazine collector, and yet I just keep getting more and more magazines, as you will see later on as well. But again, just thank you so much. Another little gift haul that I wanted to share was for these 2 official prints from In the Clear Moonlit Dusk. So I actually had ordered these 2 prints on Mercari, secondhand, and they were shipped to me packaged very, very poorly, and as a result, the packaging was bent and had crease marks through the prints. And so I was super disappointed because I was really looking forward to having these prints. I love these illustrations. This one is probably my favorite color illustration of the whole series so far. I absolutely love Yoi, and Kohaku really just gives Itsuomi vibes from A Sign of Affection, but this is just a high school romance that I really, really like. But big thank you to my friend on Instagram, Ellie, who saw that my prints were damaged, and she actually had duplicates of these from her recent orders from Japan. And she messaged me saying she'd send them to me. So huge, huge thank you. I love these. They came in perfect condition because she packaged them and sent them securely. And I'm just super grateful to have these now and in good condition without big fold marks down the center. So thank you so much, Ellie. And then my recent trip to the bookstore, I didn't film a lot of footage of me just browsing and like what they had in stock at the store because I literally had just been there like 2 weeks prior and their stock was pretty much the same. I did have a little more time though to be able to browse and kind of just take my time like flipping through some of the series that I was curious about that have been on my radar that I hadn't really looked into the volumes to see what the art style was like. And I did kind of lose self-control a little bit and I ended up getting 6 volumes. And I actually forgot to share in my last shopping with me video, but last time before when I was at the bookstore, I did also get this Barnes & Noble tote because I do have a membership and this is part of their membership plan that you get a free tote bag, and I was pleasantly surprised at how nice it is. So it's like canvas, and it's not just any of the tote bags or any of the canvas bags you can choose from. There are 3 different colors and they're all just like in this style, but I'm happy with it. And it's like, it seems really sturdy. The handles are nice and thick and durable. And then there's like a little pocket here. It's hard to see because it's black, but there's a little pocket here and then just like a deep pocket. But this is my new little tote. I'm not the kind of person though who will just throw a book in a canvas bag. I will usually just hold them with a death grip until I have a safe place to put them. But so as for the volumes that I picked up in the store, so I got volume 1 of DRRR. I've been really wanting to read this series. I have watched the anime and I did really like it. So I'm looking forward to getting into the manga. I know the main story has 4 volumes. There are 2 shorter spin-off series, each with 3 volumes. So 4, then 3, then 3. And then there's another spin-off series that is ongoing. I think it's to volume 7 or 8 now. So I just got volume 1. And I'm planning to read it next month. I think Dragon Ball Zoe is going to buddy read it with me. And I'm really looking forward to it. And also because this is a volume 1, I'll flip through the art style a little. But I can't remember what the demographic is for this one. If it's shonen, I think it might be shonen. But it follows a boy who moves to the city and kind of gets mixed up in some gang activity. There are some supernatural elements. But it mainly follows these 3 high schoolers living in the city. Ikebukuro, where Tokyo's wildest characters gather. So, looking forward to getting into this one. I also got We Can't Do Just Plain Love Volume 1. So this is a josei series. It is a mature title, so I won't be flipping through it. But follows these 2. I did read it this week, and there are some spicy scenes. I really, really like this main guy. Of course, he's just super handsome, but he also is super cute in the series, his personality. And this girl here too, she's like doing a sexy pose, but she's a really sweet girl too. Let me just find one little panel to share. So it is an office workplace romance. And they are colleagues working in the same office. He is very, very awkward around women. And then she has certain things that she's interested in as well. But enjoyed this read, and I'm pretty sure that this is my first Tokyo Pop title. And then the last 4 volumes that I got were volumes 1, 3, 4, and 5 of The Savior's Book Cafe Story in Another World. So they did have volume 2 as well, but I don't know if it was just volume 2 or if for every volume this happened, but these 4 volumes were all printed on the regular manga paper, and each of the 4 have a little light novel chapter at the end, or like a little text bonus chapter. All 4 of these, and the volume 2s that were in stock at my bookstore, it was printed on white paper. So the volume was thinner, and it was like the white paper that's heavier. And then it didn't have a text bonus chapter at the end. So I decided to just get these 4 volumes, and I would be in search of a volume 2 on the regular paper with the bonus text chapter at the end. So I have read this whole series. Volume 5 is the final volume. It's an isekai that follows this woman in her 30s who is sent to be the savior in another world. And before she goes, she has a set of conditions that have to be met for her to agree to do this. And it basically just sets her up to have a very comfortable life, having a book cafe, and just being able to have a cozy life, reading and doing what she enjoys. And it is just such a feel-good story. Because it's an isekai, there are some elements of adventure, but it isn't really much of like an action-based series. There is a little bit of supernatural elements, but as I was reading this with each volume, I just really liked the story, and I kept thinking, oh, I like this story, but I don't know if I need to own it in my physical collection. And then just the way that Volume 5 wrapped up the series, there aren't like huge major things that happen in the series, but it just is such a cozy read and just such a feel-good read. Tsukina is just so relatable. Eel is just such a handsome guy. And so I have them in my collection now. And with every volume that I read, I would do my little reviews and tell my husband what I thought and do my reading logs, and he's really looking forward to reading it now too, but he'll have to wait until I get a hold of a volume 2 that is the regular paper. So it could be a while because I'm kind of hesitant to order a copy online, since it seems like a lot of people have received the white copy without the text. But then I did do a poll on Instagram, and there were some people who got the eggshell volumes, and both the eggshell and the white volumes, some had the text bonus chapter and some didn't in both versions. So kind of crazy with 7Cs that there was such a wide range of volume 2s that they printed. And I'm just gonna hold out, maybe wait until I take a big trip to somewhere that has a lot of bookstores so I can hand select the volume that I want. Next, I have some prints that I've gotten recently. So I'll put this artist's Instagram up on the screen. But I got these 3 one-piece prints, and I absolutely love them. Corazon, he's my 3rd favorite character in One Piece. I absolutely love all the detail in these prints. But these 3 I bought as a set. Then I have LaLa. After I read One Piece, I really wanted to buy some of their art after I found their account on Instagram, because their stuff is just gorgeous. And then Doflamingo. Again, just the detail. But I was waiting and waiting because their shop was closed. So when they finally opened their shop, I was just thrilled to be able to order these. I'm really, really happy that they arrived safely. I did order these from Asia, and the shipping was pretty expensive. And unfortunately, these prints were not packaged very well at all. So when I received my package, my heart just dropped because I thought that the prints inside had to have been ruined. So I was so relieved when I opened them, and they were safe, no damage. And then just, of course, the prints, gorgeous. Then I got this little Luffy print as an extra, and this little sticker. So happy to have these. And then I had another order that I made that I'll put up the Instagram account for the store that I bought it from. So it's a store that sells the work from different artists. So there are different prints and stickers and different things from a variety of artists. And this is the main thing that I was just really, really wanting to get a hold of. So this was a collaboration print that was made for Sanji's birthday earlier this year, and I hadn't read One Piece in March. I didn't even know anything about One Piece or Sanji. But then when the shop reopened for Luffy's birthday and there was a collaboration print for him, there were still some Sanji prints in stock, so I was thrilled to be able to get a hold of this. I know there was one for Zoro as well, but it wasn't in stock, so I know there are some people just trying to get a hold of it, so I hope you'll be able to. I'm just selfishly pleased that I was able to get a hold of Sanji's. But again, this is a collaboration print with art from different artists showing Sanji at different stages throughout the series. And I just love this, and I can't wait to kind of evaluate my One Piece shelf and kind of decide how I can get this in there to put it on display, but then also some of my other stuff that I'm just really excited about. Also from the shop, I got this cute little Sanji sticker. So I went to check on the shop to see who the artist was that designed this sticker, and the shop's closed right now, so I couldn't find it. I couldn't remember who the artist was, so apologies, but I had to get this Sanji sticker. He's so cute. So happy to have this one. And then I got a print and 4 more stickers, and these were all by the same artist, so I'll put the artist's Instagram on the screen who did this illustration. So this is another print, and it's Sanji. And I wasn't intending to get this when I put in this order. I was only intending to get Sanji's birthday print. Oh, and I forgot to mention, this collaboration print was also for charity. So all of the proceeds from selling these prints went to charity. So that's amazing that they're doing this, that they're doing work from different artists for the different characters of One Piece and then donating to charity. And I'm really glad I was able to support that. But so I wasn't intending to get this print, but this was another order from Asia, and I was going to have to pay the shipping anyways, just if I got one thing or if I got 5 things. So when I saw this print of Sanji, I just had to throw it in the cart as well, and I'm glad I did. It's kind of dark, so it's hard to kind of capture the illustration on here, but it's gorgeous. And then by the same artist, I got these 4 little chibi stickers, and they're so cute. So I got Frankie, I got Cora, Crocodile, and Sanji. He's so cute. So I got my top 3. So Sanji's my favorite character in One Piece, then Crocodile is second, and then Korra is third. And I honestly wish that I had gotten more of these little chibi ones because they were all so cute. And I was like, no, I need self-control. I'll just get my top 3. And Frankie, because Frankie's in my top 10. I really love him. And I haven't been able to find a lot of fan art of him. So when I saw how cute his sticker was, I was like, I have to get Frankie. But a lot of really cute stuff. And again, I got all of these from this Instagram account when their shop opened. And this was just some of the stuff I got, but they had more things. They had acrylic charms, other designs of stickers, other prints. So definitely go check out their Instagram, and then that way you won't miss out if there's anything on there that you're interested in next time they open their shop. And then one last order that I received that I'm going to share before I get into this unboxing. Let me scoot these out of the way. So I had another order that I received from Japan, and I actually did an unboxing on Instagram Live. So if you're not following me over on Instagram, make sure you check out my Instagram. I don't do lives all the time, but then sometimes when I get packages in that I'm really excited about, prints or just things from Japan, I will do unboxings or just little hauls on there. But last week, I got a few things. I got 2 fan books from One Piece and then a magazine. So I'll share the magazine first. So I got the June 2023 issue of Comic Gene. And so on the cover, we have the boys from I Cannot Reach You, and then the guys from Minato's Coin Laundry. And they're on the spine. But the main reason I got this magazine is for the back cover. So I collect all of the covers of Love of Kill. I have 2 that I'm missing still. And when I found out that this illustration was going to be a Comic Gene cover, I got really excited. Of course I had to get it. Unfortunately, then I found out it wasn't going to be the front cover, but the back cover. So unfortunately, they're not on the spine. And I was bummed about that because all of my other Love of Kill magazines, I display spine out. So I'm going to be having this one on frontal display. And I might eventually just like cut the cover off and just have it framed or have it taped up on my bookcase like it's a print. But I'm also really, really excited about this issue because this series ended in January. But then it was announced that it would be continuing with some bonus chapters. So this issue actually has the first bonus chapter. And of course, I haven't opened it and looked at it at all because I don't want to be spoiled. I still have 2 volumes of the main story to read before I even get to the bonus content. But there's one color illustration in here, and I'll go to it and show everyone. Just because I had seen it already on Twitter, the mangaka I follow on Twitter, and they posted these illustrations, and it's just gorgeous. So then I also wanted to have this magazine for these color pages. So Ringha is my favorite manga character, and he is frying eggs. So of course I had to get this. So I'm really hoping that once the bonus chapters are completed, they'll be combined into a physical volume and sold in Japanese. And then hopefully, please, 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 Yen Press, please translate it and give it to us in English as well. So really happy to have this. Also with this magazine issue, I got this clear file of these 2 sets of characters. So these little goodies that I got from Animate, and this was actually my first time buying something from Animate, but my first time using a different proxy service called Blackship. So I had used Blackship a few months ago to participate in a Kuji, or a online lottery for Love of Kill. And even though that was my first experience using Blackship, I still haven't gotten those prints yet. They're set to release mid-July. But since I had made an account with them, I wanted to try ordering from a few different retailers so that I'd be more comfortable using their site. But so I ordered this magazine from Animate and had it shipped to the Blackship warehouse. But then the 2 other items I ordered, and the reason I wanted to order them through this proxy service, is because they were on a site that I don't think that I'm able to order through Bai. And Bai is the site that I normally make my orders from Japan on. So other than Bai, now I have used Blackship as proxy. This order I ordered directly from Amazon Japan to be shipped without using a proxy. And then I do have one other proxy that I'm planning to use this summer. I'm just kind of trying to see what my options are a little more because my last Bai order, the shipping was just out of control. So gonna try to change things up a bit. But the first fan book that I got was this One Piece unofficial fan book, Love Begets Love, and it is a fan book featuring illustrations of LaLa and Corazon. And I'll put up the artist's Twitter handle. I do follow them on Twitter, and that's how I found out about their fan book. And I'm so happy that the timing worked out, that I finished One Piece. I found all these amazing artists, started following them on Twitter and Instagram, and then found out about 2 fan book releases that were in the middle of the pre-order window. So it wasn't too late and I was able to get them. And last I checked a few days ago, they still have some in stock. So this one and the next one I'm about to show, I got from the website Booth. So you can search this title, or you can go to the artist's Twitter and they have some links in there as well. But this is a fan book just featuring some of their illustrations. And I'll just do a quick little flip through. I was like thrilled to death when I got this. That the art in it was so beautiful. I really didn't want any ship illustrations of them because of what their dynamic is in the series. So I was relieved that it was mostly just illustrations of them, and I love them. There was one, this one, but I was relieved it was not just full of romantic illustrations of them, because like for me personally, this is the dynamic between them that I love. So little baby LaLa. But just gorgeous illustrations. And this fan book is super nice too, like the quality of the paper and the cover. And the day that I got this, I just was looking at this illustration and just crying. But I love Cora, so I'm glad I was able to get a hold of this one. And then the next fan art book that I got was Shackleton. And this was a One Piece fan book all about Crocodile. And this is another artist that I follow on Twitter who just has the most gorgeous illustrations. I love Crocodile and their style. I'll put up their Twitter handle on the screen, and just be forewarned that their account does have explicit content, so enter at your own risk. But I absolutely love this artist's style for Crocodile. And this was another one that just when I was finishing One Piece and when I knew which characters I loved and I was finding fan art and artists to follow, I stumbled upon their Twitter and found out that this too, the pre-order window was still open. And again, this one was still in stock when I checked just like 2 days ago. So on Booth, Shackleton, and then on their Twitter, they have some links to the page where they're selling these. But then along with this book, I got this little print, but it's I think it's called lenticular. A lenticular print? I might be saying it wrong. But where it changes depending on the angle you're holding it, of Crocodile. So that, as well as I'll do a little flip through of this one. So this fan book has illustrations predominantly of Crocodile, but then also Mihawk, Buggy, and Doflamingo. But again, just, I love Crocodile and their style. He's so handsome. Crocodile is my second favorite character in One Piece. And if you were watching my Instagram live, I was just like squealing as I was flipping through this. This is the illustration on the print. So I'm just thrilled to have this fan book. Really happy the way it worked out with the timing. Okay, so all my manga, my magazines, prints, art book, and fan books. And now I'm gonna open up this package. So I'm nervous. I hope everything's okay because when I picked this up at the post office, everything was just sliding all around. But I'm gonna get into it now. Okay, so there's some paper. I'm not sure how much it did to cushion everything. No, everything's sliding around. Okay. No! Okay, let me get everything out of here. Okay, so I hope everything's okay. I really wish that they had like at least just like put everything together and just like put something around it to hold them together because they literally were sliding into each other and the books were inside the other books. Okay, so in this haul, I got 3 magazines and a handful of Japanese manga. So I got volume 26 of Oto Tomare because I recently parted with my volume 26 for good reasons and I had to replace it. So looks like this one is okay. I'm not going to flip through it because it's obviously further in the series, but I'm pretty sure the other volumes of this that I got were wrapped just because usually like a lot of Japanese manga will be wrapped, but I'm just glad this is safe because this is the most important volume of the whole series for me. Oto Tomare. Love, love, love this series. My second favorite manga of all time. Love it. Highly recommend it. It's not licensed in English yet, but it does have an anime and I have read it in the fan translations and have since started collecting it in Japanese as well. And then I got the latest volume of Ashi, volume 32, and I'm just thrilled through the last couple of volumes as well as this one and into the next one. We're getting so much content about my favorite character, Fukura, and I'm just thrilled about it. And he was on the last cover, he was on this cover. I also got volume 27 because I already have volumes 28 to 31. So I got the newest one and then the one previous to the ones that I have. But really excited to have these ones. This is a soccer series that I really, really like. It's not licensed in English yet. So again, I have read the fan translations of this series. Love it. Absolutely love it. It's my second favorite sports series after Haikyu. And it does have an anime that is really good as well. Highly recommend the anime Ashi about soccer. And it basically just follows this main guy here. It starts with him in middle school and then just right away he gets into high school. And he's pursuing basically a life in soccer with the aim to become a pro soccer player and kind of coming from a single family home with a poor background. So just his struggle and overcoming the challenges to pursue his goal. And then this is a seinen series, and I got the version of the series that is for younger readers. So it's the same story, but it has with the kanji, it will have the furigana so that younger readers who don't know those kanji will be able to read the series still. So for example, you can see it there. As for me, I can't read Japanese, so it doesn't matter to me if it's the kanji version or the furigana version. I just wanted this cover because this series is every cover and spine is yellow. I think it's called the junior version. But I wanted this cover because it's the same character as part of his flashbacks. So this character during his early 20s as a pro soccer player. So I am planning to collect the whole series in Japanese just to have it because I love it. And then I wanted to have this version of this cover as well. Okay, next, the manga magazine. So I said earlier, I'm over here trying to not be a magazine collector. Meanwhile, I'm over here buying a bunch of magazines. So this one I got here. Whoa, it's thick. And no, got a little beat up in transit. I don't know. Oh well. But yeah, this is super thick compared to the others. I'll show them in a minute, but the reason I got this issue is because this is actually the final volume of the Margaret. So I feel like it's kind of special as this shoujo magazine is coming to an end that I was able to get this final volume. And then also this cover illustration was drawn by Mika Yamamori, who's a mangaka that I really, really like. And so after the announcement that she was going to be doing the illustration, I was so curious what it was going to be, if it was going to be one of her characters or what. But to my knowledge, this is just an original character by her. So it's not someone existing in her manga series that I know of. But just, wow, so stunning. I love her character designs. But I'm not gonna like flip through it for everyone to see, but I'm not sure if there's anything else that she did in here. And I don't want to spoil anyone with any latest chapters of any of these series in here that will be moving into other magazines. So happy to get this one. And then next, to be honest, I'm not entirely sure what these are. I didn't realize that this magazine issue was going to come with 2 volumes of something. But before I get into these, I got the July issue of Dessert because, for one, it had Yoi on the cover from In the Clear Moonlit Dusk, and she is gorgeous. And even though I am not like collecting all of Mika Yamamori's cover illustrations or even all of In the Clear Moonlit Dusk, I did really like this illustration. And for illustrations that I like that are cover illustrations, they don't always have prints available, and so this is one that I might potentially cut the cover just to have this illustration as a print, but I don't know yet. But wanted to have this. There's also a new chapter in here, and I won't show it because I don't want to spoil anyone. Well, I guess I'd be spoiling myself too because I haven't read ahead. But another reason why I had to get this magazine issue is because I really wanted this color page of Yoi and Kohaku. They're so cute. They just both have their mouths full and they're eating. But it's so gorgeous. And if I ever see this illustration as a print, I am definitely gonna try to hunt it down because they're such a cute little couple and their character designs are gorgeous. But then it's funny, I got these 2 volumes and they're both super thick. Like this one is mega thick, but even this one is super thick compared to Comic Gene. Like, this is super skinny. But so, along with this magazine was included, oh, they're here on the cover. these two manga volumes. They don't have volume numbers. 260 pages and 196. Oh no, this one's really dirty. Maybe it's from rubbing up against the magazine. But then also, I don't really want to flip through them in case there are any spoilers, but wow, this is cool. It's the like kind of magazine paper where it's like printed with color because that's the way that manga is printed in Japan in these magazines. So I don't know, I'll have to do some research and see if this is one series and they just included it, or if it's a few different ones. I'm not really sure. And then this one, I don't see a title in English. And again, I don't want to flip through it. I'll put the table of contents here if anyone wants to try to translate it. But again, it's with blue ink. That's kind of cool. I don't know. So I'll have to check both of these out. I can't read Japanese, but whenever I have Japanese manga, I use a translator app to be able to read them. So curious about these two and why they were included. And then lastly, one more magazine. That I'm really excited about. So I got the August issue of LaLa, and I got it because I really like this cover from Snow White with the Red Hair. We have Shirayuki on the spine. And then on the back, some information about the anniversary exhibition. And I have been following the news on Twitter about the anniversary exhibition, and I really hope that some of the things that are going to be released and sold at the exhibition will go on sale on Mercari Japan secondhand. And it was recently announced that there will be a new art book released at the exhibition. So I don't know if it'll only be available there or if afterwards it'll be available to purchase from the United States, or if I'll only be able to get it by means of a secondhand purchase. But I will have to get a hold of that as well, because I do have the other Snow White with the Red Hair art book, but it's just a small booklet. But it is hardcover and it is nice, but I'm really hoping it'll be like a full-size art book. But even if it's not, I just am really happy that they're doing it. And let me just peek to see if there's a color page. Yes. So Zen and Shirayuki. So I really like the cover. This color illustration is really pretty. But then I also ordered this, not just for the cover, because I don't just order every cover that I think is pretty, but also because of the inclusions with this magazine issue. So it's a set of illustrations. This is the cover illustration I'm happy about. And there are some manga panels in here too, I believe, that have some spoiler content for the latest chapters. So I've read the latest chapters, so I don't mind, but I won't show them. I won't show them just so that I don't accidentally spoil someone else, because I hate whenever I get spoiled on something, and so I don't want to be the one who spoils it for someone else. But yeah, so let me see. So 8 pages of manga panels. I'll just show. It's kind of like big manga panels, but then like with measurements going across. It's kind of cool. And then for the prints, so the magazine issue cover illustration of Zen, Obi, and Shirayuki. And then from the color pages, Shirayuki, and Zen. And then I believe this is the volume 26 manga cover. And then this is the illustration from volume 25. Oh, I love this. Shirayuki. So who knows, maybe we'll get some of these illustrations in the upcoming art book release. 2 more. So this one of Shirayuki. And lastly, our main characters from Snow White with the red hair. So these are such lovely illustrations. I'm really glad that these were safe, like, because they were wrapped and then strapped to the magazine, and I'm glad nothing just like slammed into them and ruined them. So overall, really happy with everything. Glad that nothing was damaged. Somehow just the one top corner of the big thick magazine was a little kind of banged up against. And then the volumes of manga, some of them have been pushed into the pages of the other one, but fortunately it didn't like tear any pages or even like fold them. So thank goodness. But I think this is gonna wind up being a longer video. So thank you so much if you stuck around through the whole thing. Hope you enjoyed watching my unboxing, as well as seeing some of the latest things that I've picked up at the bookstore, some gifts I've gotten from friends, and some of my really exciting print and fan book orders. So this is everything for now, and I'm sure sooner than later I'm gonna have more manga and stuff on the way. So I'll see you then in another video. Thanks for watching.